Today I'm going to share with y'all a winter day in my life. We're going to do some organization in the kitchen. We're going to bake some yummy bread, make some chili, and just have a really cozy day here at home. So I hope that you enjoy spending it with me. And we're going to head back inside and get started on the kitchen first. I really wanted to do a refresh of our kitchen food cabinet where we keep all of our main pantry staples. I had some things that needed restocked and refilled, and I wanted to open up my canister set my mom got me for Christmas and finally get those filled up. This cabinet is where we keep our main basic ingredients for baking and our dry pantry items like noodles, rice, and beans. So I'm just going through and taking note of what needs to be refilled, and then anything that I haven't transferred into an airtight container yet, I wanted to go ahead and set that stuff to the side. That way I could wash out my new canisters and get those items transferred into the new canisters. That way they would be airtight. I'm also going to reorganize the shelves and move the things that we use less often at the very top. So for example, like our lentils and beans, that's something that I don't make as often, so I thought it would make more sense if those were at the very top, and then I can have like our rice and noodles on the next shelf down, which is something we use a little bit more often, and then our popcorn, and then have the baking items on the bottom two shelves, since that is what I reach for out of this cabinet the most often. These are the ingredients that needed refilled, so I needed more powdered sugar, more chocolate chips, and then more regular sugar. And I was going to share with y'all where we keep all of our overstock pantry items and any of our food items that will not fit in our cabinets in the kitchen. We recently did this back at the beginning of 2021, so almost a year ago now. We moved some of our food to our basement. At the very beginning of gardening season last year, we realized we were going to need more room to store a lot of the food that we were going to be putting away. For example, like our home canned tomato sauce, tomato juice, our pickles and things like that, and we were running out of room. Our cabinets were overflowing up here with food, and so we came up with the idea to put some shelves in our basement, and I'm going to insert some clips of that. We put in some, like, pretty much they're called garage type shelving. These black shelves, you can get them at Lowe's or at Sam's Club. I think I've seen them there before, and at Walmart and places like that. So we got 2 of those, and then I also have this little wire shelf that I keep a lot of our home canned items on. But this has opened up so much more space for us for our food. We have some home canned salsa, some tomato sauce that I use in everything from chili to spaghetti, lasagna. I'm really happy we did this. It gave us so much extra room we needed to store our food. Since we don't have a pantry or anything like that in our kitchen, this is kind of like our homemade little walk-in pantry down here, and it's been amazing. As you can see, we also have store-bought canned items. I don't have anywhere really to store any canned food upstairs, so I have like a whole shelf dedicated to that. I have, as you saw there, our cake mixes and cookie mixes that I keep on hand, and some chocolate chips, some sugar, and I use these little Dollar Tree bins to organize all of this. I have some gluten-free flour mixes and things like that. And then whenever we start to run low on anything upstairs, like for example the sugar or chocolate chips or pasta sauce, then I will just come down here and grab a few of whatever we need and then restock the upstairs cabinet. And then on this shelf over here we have our homegrown pumpkins and butternut squash that we have been slowly working through. Butternut squash is our favorite, and we are down to like 5 or 6 butternut squash now, which is crazy. We have ate so many of them already, but they're our favorite. And then we also have some butternut squash stored in our deep freeze down here. we cut a bunch up and vacuum sealed it. That way we could have some stored in the freezer that will last a little bit longer than the ones on the shelves. We will need to eat those sooner. I also have some homemade vegetable broth and some ground beef and a lot of different things stored in this deep freeze. But I just wanted to share with you where we stored the majority of our food and pantry items. I'm so thankful for this space and that we've been able to utilize a corner of our basement for this. It has been so helpful, and so I just thought that I would share that in case you were curious of where we keep our home canned food and all of our extra things that we keep on hand. So now we're going to get back into the kitchen. I'm going to open up this new canister set, get these all washed up, and then I'm going to start to transfer some of my extra ingredients into these containers. I love to keep like flour and cornmeal and things like that in these to keep them airtight and sealed. That way they will stay fresh longer.
Won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
This canister set also came with a set of labels that you can write on with a Sharpie, which was super helpful, so I just went ahead and labeled everything.
Even if the sky is falling down, jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah.
I had several boxes of this gluten-free pasta that I again wanted to get poured into an airtight container and get that sealed so it would stay fresh. Whenever I see pasta or anything that we use a lot on sale, I'll go ahead and buy several boxes of it just to have extra on hand. That way I have to go to the grocery store less and I have things whenever we need them. So I bought, I think, 4 or 5 boxes of this pasta whenever it was on sale. It was, I think, maybe 99 cents a box, which is a really good deal for gluten-free pasta. So I went ahead and poured all of this rotini into this glass jar. And yes, as you can see, we love our popcorn. I buy big bags of that online from Azure Standard. That way we will have plenty on hand for our movie nights and late night snacks. It is one of our absolute favorites. We like to make different kind of mixes with it where you add in different things and stuff like that. So we have lots of popcorn on hand always. Okay, I'm super happy with how our little food cabinet is now looking. Everything is all restocked and ready to go. So down here I have just some basic baking things like gluten-free flour, some buckwheat flour. This is baking soda and baking powder, and then I have sugar, brown sugar, chocolate chips, and then when you move on up here, this is where I put all of like the kind of specialty flours that I don't use as often, and like the special baking sugar and baking cocoa and things like that. And I decided to turn them around and not have the labels showing, just because I think it looks a little bit cleaner, and I don't know, to me it just looks more simple and organized with the labels turned to the back, but they're still labeled so that we will know what is in them. So that is why they were turned around, if you're wondering. And then up here I have my popcorn that I absolutely love, and then I have some noodles. I got our big container of noodles restocked, and then beans and lentils and rice up there. So really happy with how it looks now. Like I said, everything is refilled and ready to go. Okay, now that I'm finished organizing in the kitchen for today, I wanted to get started on some of this homemade bread. I wanted to have this with our supper tomorrow night, so I knew that I needed to get it started this afternoon. That way it can rise overnight. It's an overnight bread, and then it will be ready for me to bake tomorrow. It takes 12 to 18 hours to rise, so I definitely wanted to get it started the day before. And all it is just flour, water, yeast, and salt. It's super easy to make. It's the easiest bread recipe that I have found. And you all know that I am gluten-free, but I was just making this for a special occasion because I knew that we wanted to have grilled cheese with our chili the next night. And so this was mainly just for my husband, but I did have a little slice as well. Okay, it's the next day. It's time to take a look at our bread, and it is ready to go. So I'm going to roll this out on the counter, form it into a loaf, and then I'm going to stick it in my Dutch oven. It's another snow day again today. So my husband actually requested chili, which I've told y'all before that he's not a huge fan of soup and rarely wants it. So this is definitely a special occasion that he wants chili. So I'm super excited for this tonight, and I cannot wait to have this with some homemade bread. It is going to be so delicious. So with this bread, you actually don't have to knead it. You just have to fold it over into the center until it kind of forms the shape of a ball. And then we're going to let it rise for 30 more minutes, and then it'll be ready to go in the oven. Okay, I just took my Dutch oven out of the stove and it's preheated. Now I'm going to take the bread and leave it in the parchment paper, stick it in there, cover it up, and then it's going to go back in the oven. Okay, here are a few things that I'm going to use for the chili. I have chili beans, kidney beans, diced tomatoes, and then some of my mother-in-law's homemade tomato juice, which is incredible in chili. I will never make chili without this again. I cannot wait until tomato season again for us to make a bunch more of this, but it is so good. I have my ground beef and onions right here, and now I'm gonna add all the ingredients and the seasonings and get this simmering. Okay, I just added in all the seasonings. I will have this recipe linked, but I'm going to mix everything together and then let it simmer for about an hour. And then we're going to take out the bread, let that cool, let it slice, and then make some grilled cheese. Okay, here's how the bread turned out. It looks so good. I'm so excited to indulge in this. I'm still gluten-free, so I haven't had any real bread in several months, and I like to indulge just every once in a while, so I'm very excited for supper tonight. I really hope you enjoyed spending this winter day in the life with me. I had fun bringing you along through the kitchen as I organized and cooked and baked. I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already and join us here for more homemaking and decorating content. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye, friends.